That was a long day at the park. Predicting weather is a challenge. Our guys did a great job with it. It's just tough trying to figure out when we're going to get the rain.
Buck, that is standard operating procedure. When you don't want to, on the front end, when you see it coming in, you don't want to take, you want the best chance of not.
Well, I was in the ring room. I saw the same thing they were seeing, and all of a sudden it completely changed, went somewhere else, and it came back in. I mean, y'all have lived here most of your lives. You know what predicting weather this close to water is like. You can only go, it's unfortunate, but our guys do a great job with it. As you've seen through the years here, since I've been here, they tell me it's going to rain, doesn't look like, and it does. They tell me it's going to clear, and I don't think it's going to, and it does. So, they're trying to do what's best for the fans and the players, and it's quite and we all know how much people have sacrificed to get here, and we're trying to get the game in.
How impressed with you with Tyler Wilson being put in that spot?
Well, it's one of the reasons why you like Tyler. We talked about it a lot in the spring. He's a lot of guys lead off double after Chris was pitching so well. Would have let it get away from him, but he got out there, and I thought that was some of the key outs in the game there was not letting them get a lot of momentum going there. We had fortunately, we had a full bullpen and some potential starters that were there, and Brad got some big outs got a big out for us, a couple of them, aided by Joey's catch out there, which was the right decision to catch that ball at home in a tie game. You go get that ball. Did you see a replay? I thought he might have left a little early. Our guys said no. They show the replay of it. I was wrong, I'm sure.
Before the game, when you were asked what was your most memorable opening day, and you said, I don't know, maybe today.
Well, it is. It's like, who's your best starter? The guy pitching tonight. It's a challenging day emotionally. There's a lot of emotion swings in the pregame, and that's part of opening day. And a lot of people, most of all our fans, have put a lot of time and effort into making this, special day, and we didn't want to let them down and try to not only win in the game, but trying to present what opening days are supposed to be about. But I think if you'd ask all of them what they want opening day to be about, it's the Orioles winning. And so that was the key to a good opening day for all of us.
Buck, I know Matt played last year, but that wasn't the real Matt Wieters that he's capable of being. How meaningful was it to watch him turn the page?
Yeah, and Matt had some really good at-bats tonight. I know he's going to think about the two. The guy just outguessed him. He had a couple balls hard. I thought he was on a lot of pitches tonight. And, those are little things you take. It meant a lot to him to get back here because, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, he could have got in that. Here we go again. But, we stayed positive with it, and trainers and doctors and said that he didn't have what you were worried about, and he worked his way back from it. He and John and Richie, they worked through it, and there it is. He'll catch again on Wednesday if we don't have any problems.
Well, you've talked a lot about kind of watching things through Joey Rickards' eyes. How much fun was that?
I wasn't as good a player. I just say what it's like that. Joey's asking me right away about should he have caught the ball, and I said yes, you should have caught it, and you let it drop. There's some different situations in the game. You know where you are in the bullpen. Outs are precious. We'll take a tie game at home if we can get out of that inning anytime and take the out. You let it drop, and the guy punches one through and two score. A whole different situation. We got some really quality innings pitched out of our pen again in a time of need. We won't have that luxury with someone. We're fortunate to have an off day, so we had 3 more guys down there. We'll see if we adjust things around with Chris or not and put somebody else in the pen. We'll see.
Well, you've talked a lot about, when the lights come on during the regular season, there's a spring training.
Well, they were off, and then they came on, didn't they? We were here that long.
But you know what I mean in terms of, spring training numbers, and then the regular season starts. And, when you see the at-bats that Rickard put together some early on there, was that impressive in terms of?
Well, I'm not the only one that, the players, it's obvious that he's a guy that you pull for, whether it's Kim or Trumbo or Pedro. I don't care how long you've been playing in a new venue, in a new park, and with new teammates, you want to get off right, and I think all our guys are pulling for him because they've been in those shoes. But that, I was asking, if we got rained out after 2 innings, do you have to give the ball back? I don't know, but he, I like the fact that he wasn't trying to be too cool about it. He could tell there was a lot of emotion, today with it, but he stayed under control pretty good. JJ called that, you knew the first ball was going to be hit to him, and JJ called it a little early, and the wind blew it around. JJ's ball early in the game was like 20 feet foul. I've never seen a ball move that far. I don't know if y'all had a good view of it. I've never seen a ball move that far.
Like you said before the game, this was a guy who was playing in Double-A last year, playing in...
Was Biscuits right? Did anybody check on that?
Yeah.
Because they changed names to Lug Nuts to, Flying Squirrels to Biscuits. What?
But winter ball, much different stages. And his third at bat, he comes up and the fans are chanting his name.
That's our fans, though. Darren, they chanted his name, and everybody took it in. I mean, it's one of those things you take in. They're all waiting to embrace you. You just got to give them something to embrace you about it. It's your responsibility, not theirs. And what comes first. And if you didn't think anybody was reading some of the things you were writing, we know now they were. But you knew that anyway.
Buck, you're always one to say that every game counts the same, and opening day has an emotion attached to it. But 2 rain delays, some of the stuff that happened today, is there a point in it where you say, we have to win this game? Because it's...
No,
I mean...
There's certain things you have to do in your life. Winning a baseball game is not one of them. Now, we've got, I think, the best groundskeeper in the business, and we've got the best trying to go through the rain room. I wish everybody would go in there, the things that go into it. So it is what it is. You don't try to... at some point you go, you tell us when to play. That's what we do. We play. And I think everybody felt some for the fans because they had to sit there and wait through it. And but they should have great confidence. There's reasons why things are being done, and it's 90% of it's for their benefit.
Were you a little disappointed for Tillman, who had started so
Not as much. It reminded me of the playoff game against Detroit. He'd carried such a good fastball all spring, unlike some guys kind of worked their way through it. And his last side day, I remember Wally said to me, he said, well, that was pretty special. And I don't think he was real, he really wanted to pitch deep into that game. And I wouldn't say he was mad. He was frustrated. We're talking about going into the cage, and what we do with a lot of guys early like that is every 15 minutes they throw. But if you count the time he had off between, because we hit, it was well over an hour. And the season's got 161 more, and we hope Chris is a big part of it. But he was frustrated because he knew he was carrying good stuff and good command.
Talk a little bit about Mark Trumbo today. 4 hits in the cleanup spot. What a professional hitter he is.
Yeah, today he was good. He's been pretty good through his career in April, May, and we felt like Mark's a student. I mean, he's fit in real quick. He's a watcher. He started having advanced reports, and you can tell who speaks and who talks, and some of the information they share, and he's going to be a contributor even when he's not hitting.
What is 30 games of...
decision made after that in the second rain delay to not send Tillman back out? How far were you willing to go?
Yeah, that's what I just said. It was hour. In minor leagues it's different. We have a set rule where it takes it out of guys having to make that decision. Being some unknown about exactly when we were going to start him again, when we were going to start again. The way we did it, like I said, I'll say it again, is usually he goes into the cage. We have mounts and stuff in there, and we simulate pitching another inning so he doesn't sit around for 40, 50 minutes and all of a sudden go warm up, and then there's a problem. Plus, there's a certain part of managing the player that's going to come in for him. You don't just cold jock him and walk in there and go, hey, you're pitching in 10 minutes. You got to give him time to prepare, too. And Wally and I sat down and talked about the what-ifs, and we felt like Tyler was best equipped for that situation.
What does 30 games of Chris pitching like that do for this team going forward if you get 30-something starts out of it?
Well, that's not going to happen. I hope it does, but there's going to be very few times he's going to. That's what's frustrating for us, too, because he was carrying it all today. you know, and you could tell that he threw a curveball for a strike and threw a slider. Hadn't even broke out the changeup yet. I think that's what's frustrating for him. But the good news is that we saved some bullets. You know, every bullet you can save, you hope you get a return down the road. So, yeah.
You had said that maybe changing things or sending somebody to the bullpen or whatever. I mean, would he possibly be pitched before? I guess he was scheduled on Saturday, Chris, or is there? Yeah,
that's what I said. We're going to contemplate it a little bit, but how it affect. We're still going to need a fifth guy on the 10th. You know, Chris, it can't move guys back and do like Tampa and Toronto can because they're scheduled. They don't need a fifth starter till the 16th. Have I mentioned that before? But there's some possibility, but I don't want to affect other people too. And there's, you know, you don't want to all of a sudden start staggering his workday. Pitchers are creatures of habit, and once you take them off schedule and bang it around, you're asking for trouble. But, you know, Wally and I will sit down probably tomorrow. I know Chris, you know, there's something pitchers do after they pitch. They go in on the bike and get the, what is the acid? I haven't ever had it. Thank you. And, you know, Chris had already started that, which he told me he had turned the page and was getting ready for his next start. We'll see when that is, but we've got a couple options.
Buck, at the risk of recasting the same question, when I asked you earlier about the win and loss part of this, I wasn't really, in my mind, referring to the decisions made today by you guys
Right.
to play or not play. More the case of, you know, when you talk to players after a 15-inning game, they always talk about.
You're right. You're right.
You know, you want to win.
Well,
Winning, the difference between winning and losing is a little wider, and you had just a lot of disruption today. You lose Chris after 2. You're using up your bullpen.
But there were a lot of disruption for fans, and there's other people. But I know what you're saying. But that part of staying, you play so many games, and you're going to have some. They're going to kind of tear your heart out for a while, and whether you win them or lose them, you know, it's really how you respond to really the down times. Because I don't care, you lose 62 games in a season, you win 100. I mean, it's how you respond to that and how you come back. You know, there's a couple things that, looking back, that, you know, I wasn't particularly happy with myself with. So we take this game and get a great honor of going up to Annapolis tomorrow, and it'll be a lot easier bus ride tomorrow when we won't be taking any cakes to throw in people's faces, maybe. That was a cake, not a pie, right?
Buck, when you look at your lineup and you see all these big mashers who, you know, strike out a lot but hit home runs, do you maybe get a feel as to today you got some singles and it was a little bit different? I mean, is it going to be that kind of lineup, or are you going to be able to win some games like this with it?
I hope so. You know, a win's a win. You know, we scored more runs last year than we did the year before. I mean, I don't want to hang it around in one part of the club. Pitching's going to be very important, but I know our starting pitchers, they've heard enough about the other stuff, and they, you know, there's some guys here with a track record. I wouldn't sell them short, but no, it was a good day to turn on. What was your original question? I saw some.
Looking at your lineup, I mean,
I think
during the summer it could be a lineup.
Yeah, it could be. You know, good pitching will always beat good hitting. You know, when a pitcher's on top of his game and a hitter's on top of his game, the pitcher will win most of the time, and that's why the things you're talking about, you know, Chris going first or third, you know, if they decided to cover second on the steal in ninth inning, the second base might run right into Matt's line drive. You know, you got to be fortunate. You know, Trump stole a base. If you look at his career, when he does steal, it's at a high percentage. Little things like that, where when it's there, we got to go get it, and we talk about that a lot in the spring. You know, just because you have the potential to hit home runs doesn't mean you can't try to go 180 feet on a batted ball instead of 90. And I was real pleased with our selectiveness for the most part today. You know, we had more walks. I think we have 4, something like that, 5. You know, Chris, you know, guys make a living of getting people out of the strike zone or taking them off the sweep part of a bat. It was hard to tell which way the ball was carrying tonight. Pop-ups were a challenge. What else?
By the way, was the pie a rule violation?
That was a cake.
Oh, was it cake?
You know, I've lost control of the team again. So. You know, pick the battles worth winning, right? What flavor was it? It had some kind of orange look to it. Looked very cakey to me. That's why you have to. You
A lot of cakes in a round pie tin.
My wife made a cherry pie last night with an O in the middle. It was unbelievable how she did that. If you want some, there's not much left over. It's great for breakfast. I found that out.